Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Canadians Football Podcast. I'm your host, Matty P.
And I'm your co-host, C-Money.
And we are back at it for the third episode of the year.
Whoop, whoop.
So on today's episode, we're going to do a Dynasty recap. This is something that should be done in the off-season of your fantasy leagues as well going into the summer.
Just rehash everything on your team. That Dynasty is full year-round fantasy. It's not like in redraft where your team dies at the end of the season. This keeps going, so it's fun.
Yeah, what you want to do, first of all, is assess your team. Did you take home a prize amount the previous in the playoffs if you happen to make the playoffs? What was your team lacking? What was your team's strengths? What is your draft position going into the following year? What are your draft pick situation like? How many picks do you have? And there's also the waivers, right? Some dynasties, the waivers are active, and you can always scoop up a rookie or a sophomore coming up, or even a veteran that may have another shot on another team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like when doing this for myself, I look at the league that we started last year, Miller. We started the League of Champions on the Sleeper app, probably the best fantasy football app around, and we got one season in the books. Our buddy Chris from, I believe he lives in Ontario, he got the win, and our buddy Randy, who we, only see once or twice, 3 times a year in person
at the draft.
He, I believe, finished second. So, when I'm looking at my team, I failed miserably with what I wanted to accomplish in my first year of the startup. My plan was to draft a couple stud running backs, which I did, in Harris and Mixon, and then I was pairing wide receiver ones with their quarterbacks. So I drafted Pittman, drafted Matt Ryan. Well, Matt Ryan fell off. That team did not have no efficiency whatsoever, and Pittman lacked. I drafted Devontae Adams. Derek Carr got traded, and Adams had a good year, but now his college QB bestie is gone.
His bestie.
They just ousted him. The new regime ousted him, and I didn't really. When I was drafting those combos of wide receiver to quarterbacks, I wasn't really thinking of the what could happen, right? So that's where I am with assessing my team from a macro focus, just what stands out to me firsthand. What about you, Miller? When you look at your team from the League of Champions, what do you see?
I see a team that underperformed this past season, and I did pick a couple guys that were serving suspensions at the beginning of the year, which ultimately affected my team greatly. I did in a super flex or a two quarterback. Sorry, I did pick Deshaun Watson. Looking forward to this season. I'm hoping that's going to pay dividends this year, but yet to be determined, because last year he did not look very good when he came back. So I don't know. We'll see. And then I also had DeAndre Hopkins, who I took a little later. He was my 4th wide receiver taken, but I was hoping he would give me a push, and now he's a free agent, and I'm hoping he lands with a contender, and he's not all about the money, but if he chooses to be about the money, he's not going to be in a very good spot, and he's not going to have as much value. So really hoping he tries to chase a ring and goes to like Buffalo or Kansas City or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I had DeAndre Swift underperformed, Kyle Pitts underperformed, Deontay Johnson 0 touchdowns. So lots of misses, I guess, or disappointments. But I am still hopeful for this year, because I did draft, I have Josh Allen, I have Deshaun Watson, I have Kirk Cousins. I finished 9th overall, though, so now I have the 2nd pick. So now what do I do?
Yeah, see, when I assess my team, I went with the 3 veteran quarterbacks last year. I drafted Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, and Matt Ryan.
Yeah, safety, quote unquote, safety picks.
Yeah, like Russell Wilson was a huge disappointment.
Massive.
I'm hoping he bounces back this year.
I think he will bounce back this year.
With Mr. Sean Payton at the helm. If he doesn't, then there's something serious.
Yeah, then he's toast.
And so Derek Carr is with the Saints now. Like, I don't know what to expect there. Like, Carr is basically just Garoppolo, maybe a bit better, but those two, Garoppolo taking over and
yeah, that's such a weird. You alienate your star wide receiver by trading his best friend, and you bring in a guy that's probably got less arm talent than the guy that you let go.
Pretty boy Garoppolo.
Yeah, all he does is win. It's funny. So let's see if that follows him to Las Vegas.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, I do need him to connect with Devontae Adams, but for the sake of this purpose, for the sake of my Dynasty team here. But so my conundrum, I got the overall. I traded my first round when we started this league to Triple R for his first rounder. And he finished last, so I got the first overall pick. And my conundrum is, am I taking Bijan or am I taking Anthony Richardson?
It's funny because I have picked 2, so we are the 2 that are. I need a running back, and my quarterback situation is great. And you need a quarterback, and we're picking in the opposite spots.
It's good to land the number 1 pick. It's a good problem to have. Right now I'm 50-50 because I love me a solid 3-down running back. That's probably going to get 10% of the target share at least. And Anthony Richardson, there was a little clip that just came out the other day. He had both of his feet planted and he just hucked the ball 65 yards. That excites me as a football fan.
Yeah, he's got a crazy arm. Yeah. No doubt. And have you seen him in interviews at all? He's actually like really personable and really funny and stuff. And yeah, makes you just want to cheer for him.
Actually, I did see him at the draft. Yeah, with his little bro.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I saw that one, but I've
I
seen
do
one or
have
two.
Michael Pittman as well. So do I draft his potential quarterback or am I taking the star-studded running back?
Yeah, I mean, well, if you look at your team, you've got Najee Harris, Joe Mixon already at running back, and Matt Ryan's out, so you have Russell Wilson and Derek Carr at quarterback, no backup. That's rough.
It is. The only thing I got going for me is both those QBs have different bye weeks.
Oh, nice. So this is the second year in a row where I get screwed by quarterback bye weeks. Josh Allen and Kirk Cousins had the same bye week last year, and they have the same bye week this year.
Whoa, that's an interesting tidbit.
Yeah. So last year I was using Jacoby Brissett at the time because Deshaun Watson was still suspended, and I had to trade. We had a huge snafu in this league. There was some waiver wire shenanigans that went on, and I had to trade Robin, my 4th round pick, for quarterback for 1 week. Who did I forget who I traded him back because he got a quarterback injury that following week, and so he needed a quarterback. So I got his 4th round pick and he got mine for essentially, lower tier quarterback. I don't even remember who it was anymore. I think it was like an injury guy.
Anyways, though, back to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Basically, who I pick at number 1 affects who you're going to grab at number 2.
Well, yeah, whoever you don't take is the one that I'll be getting at 2. It's either one of the 2.
I'm leaning Bijan, and I'll just figure out my QB in the 2nd round of these rookie drafts. I'll grab someone.
Okay, so in 2 or 3 years, I guess.
Yeah, and maybe I'll have to make a trade.
Yeah, you'll be trading with me. So at that point, why not just do it now?
What about you guys, the listeners? You see my quarterback situation. Are you taking a quarterback over Bijan? My next pick is pick 14, I believe. Is it pick 14 or 15 overall?
I think you're 14.
Well, that's second round, pick 4.
Yeah.
So that would be 11,
14.
12. Yeah, pick 14.
Good math.
I'm leaning towards Bijan, but I don't know if I'll be able to resist when I need to see more camp if this draft gets pushed.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Richardson is so exciting. Like I'm super stoked to be getting him potentially at pick 2, even though my quarterback situation is pretty good at this point. But just the rushing upside with him, the athletic ability off the charts, right? Like, and it's fun to cheer for guys like that, like Lamar, like, fun to watch, athletic, make crazy plays every week. So yeah, Bijan should be the same way.
My reason for Bijan is he, to me, kind of reminds me of a Derrick Henry mini or Saquon Barkley when he came into the league. And we all know the season that Saquon had.
Yeah, he's not as fast as Saquon, but yeah, at high top end speed.
And Atlanta ran the ball last year the most in the league.
Like crazy. Yeah, you do know with Bijan this year he's going to get a ton of work just because of how much Atlanta runs it. But the one concern I would have is you can't completely discount Tyler Algier. He did play very well for them last year, and especially late. It just like, if you can't just completely push him to the side, unless, I mean, I guess you could liken this to Adrian Peterson, Chester Taylor situation. Chester Taylor was signed by the Vikings free agency, had 1 year where he was really good, and then Peterson comes on and renders him basically nothing. So something like that could happen, but I mean, I don't know. Running back position, there's always a pretty high chance for injury, especially if they run it a ton. So Tyler Algier, I could see him mixing in more than we expect, especially rookie year.
It is my conundrum, and I will have to deal with this for the next few weeks until we get this draft going. So what I recommend to all you guys out there, if you're in Dynasty leagues, you take a look at your team, do an assessment. How did you finish last year? What changes do you need to make? Are there any potential studs or movie makers on the waivers? Maybe you make a trade. Maybe if you haven't drafted yet, maybe you trade a veteran for a couple picks and pick up some rookie talent in the draft and cash them in.
Lottery tickets. Yeah, hoping for the big jackpot.
But yes, me and Miller will be back soon with another episode on the Two Canadians Football Podcast.
Right on. Party on, dude.
Take care of yourselves.
Later.